A bomb went off in Kabul today at a crowded wedding reception. There are reports that dozens of people were killed. There was no immediate claim of responsibility. The blast is the latest of many attacks in the capital city. The U.S. still has 14,000 troops in the country. Yesterday afternoon, at his New Jersey golf club, President Trump met with his national security team to discuss ongoing negotiations with the Taliban and the possible withdrawal of U.S. troops. Those peace talks with the Taliban ended last Monday with no deal. Joining me now for more on the 18-year-long U.S. war is Cathy Gannon, senior correspondent for Pakistan and Afghanistan at the Associated Press. Thanks for joining us. Now, how close are we to having an agreement where U.S. troops would be withdrawing?
I think quite close. Certainly, Zami Khalilzad, the U.S. envoy that's negotiating, has said that they've really made progress, and the Taliban have said that they pretty much dotted all the I's and crossed the T's, and they're part of a larger agreement, and the negotiations with the Taliban are focused mostly on withdrawal timetable, both of U.S. and NATO troops, as well as guarantees from the Taliban that they will work against terrorism, will ensure that Afghanistan is can never be another staging arena for terrorist attacks worldwide, and particularly, of course, in the United States. So I think that's very close. So it's in phases, but it's certainly moving toward a final agreement, and certainly the U.S. has been very clear, both Secretary Pompeo and Ambassador Khalilzad, that they want an agreement by September 1st.
Yeah.
Presidential elections are scheduled for the 28th. Several candidates aren't even campaigning because they don't see elections actually occurring, because if you have a peace deal, most certainly the Taliban will not sign on to anything that accepts an election so soon after.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that will be part of negotiations. What happens with the militias that are heavily armed inside Kabul and elsewhere associated with government officials?
Yeah.
What happens with the Taliban fighters?
What about the role of women?
Constitution. The role of women. Afghanistan is a conservative country. And certainly, while it's much better, of course, they're in school and they're politicians, but certainly the situation is not ideal.
Is Afghanistan ready to take the country back? Meaning, is there a security apparatus that can decrease the crime and the violence? Is there an infrastructure that can improve an economy that isn't doing that great?
It's very difficult, but also you have to remember that the international community has been there 18 years, and the situation is worsening in terms of security. Most Afghans, ordinary Afghans, not government or whatever, will say, but 18 years, billions of dollars, I feel more insecure today than I've ever felt. And corruption is still a huge, huge issue in Afghanistan, within the government, within the ministries, within just even how business is done, and highways are difficult to travel. From criminals, from Taliban, from other insurgents, you have the Islamic State that is there as well.
The president wants all 14,000 people out. Is that possible?
I think the agreement that the Taliban will sign on to will demand all leave. It is hard to imagine that they will not leave behind military personnel and intelligence personnel who can continue to battle the Islamic State, to ensure, because the main concern for the United States, and understandably, is that its security is guaranteed. But I'm sure that they won't be there as U.S. military troops. I think the Taliban are very clear. They want the 14,000 gone. I think they understand that the anti-terrorism guarantees are going to come with oversight.
Cathy Gannon of the Associated Press, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.